Hey everybody, Nick here. Welcome back to the channel. So here we go again. I've been seeing some media reports, and of course, I don't believe everything the media says, but I've been seeing some reports how they are talking about a new strain that could possibly start a new, I like to call it pandemic. I don't know how much of this I'll have to censor or if YouTube will allow me to say, but I'll use code words and bullshit like that. So they're trying again. They've been trying again for a while, and they've tried to do this even before 2020, the nonsense then. You got MERS, and you got SARS, and you got all these other, respiratory things. And I'm not here to say that none of them exist and we shouldn't take precautions and, especially older people who are susceptible or immunocompromised people. But it's clear to me that the last one was complete and utter BS. I don't care if you agree with me. I don't really give a shit if you think that there might have been some reason to it or whatever rational nonsense you're gonna come at me with. I don't really give a shit. And I'm not talking about my regulars on my channel. I know you guys know what's up. But I will give you shit for any of you who bought it, because to me that's just somebody who has no clue what's going on. Okay? So for me, I have no sympathy for people who fell for it. I really don't. Even people I know, I told them that you couldn't see the writing on the wall. I saw it from day one, even before. I knew that something was coming, but I don't know, I just know. I just knew. I don't know how I know. I don't know the reason how I'm able to know. I sense when it's BS, when they're lies. I'm not saying I'm a guru, I'm not saying I'm a know-it-all, but I see the absolute BS that they keep spewing onto humanity. And two, what was number two? It's all fear-induced news and media reports, and you have to understand they have them all in their pockets. They have them all in their grasp. All these organizations, all of these groups, media, news, people have many people, most people have no fucking idea the extent of this. The other point I want to make is that they will get what they want. Everything. They will get what they want. I'm not saying that we should give up. I'm not saying this is a defeatist message. Not at all. But the reason why I say this is because this realm was created to be manipulated by them. Because they're working with whatever entities control this place or created this place. It's not hard to see this when you go into the information and really look deep. It takes a long time. It takes being able to believe, not even believe, but just see what things really exist. You have to open your mind. You can't be somebody who, that's not going to happen, that couldn't happen, that doesn't exist, this doesn't exist. Just many possibilities. I've spoken about this in a previous video, how if you don't have an open enough mind, and I'm not saying believe every fucking thing you hear, see, you have to also be able to evaluate that too, because there's a lot of bullshit as well. In the example in the quote unquote truther community, they can say whatever they want, but there's a lot of BS too. There's a lot of grifters. There's a lot of people who are just there to spew whatever they believe, and they try to sell it as something that's the truth. And I'm not talking about my favorite channels, you know, I'm not pointing at someone in specific. I could name names, but I mean, I really don't need the bullshit headache of these people coming and harassing me or whatever. And I'm talking about channels who specifically ask for money, who have memberships, those kind of channels, okay? I'm not one of those. I don't ask for money. I don't need anyone to donate, give a super thanks. I'm quite happy making the money from the AdSense, because that in itself is enough to help me pay to take care of the 3 cats that I have, that I rescued. And that's all I really need it for. Back to the topic at hand. So you are seeing like them trying to piece something together. If you remember 2020, and I don't think it's very difficult to forget that. It was a trying time for so many people. So many people suffered. Think about how much energy was created, the loosh that was created in 2020, and the following years, of course, subsequent years after, but they really got a lot of things out of that. And I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if we all band together, and which is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I've heard people say, they're dividing us. They're dividing us. We've been fucking divided for so long. Not everybody. And if people keep saying, well, it's not everybody, then you're missing the whole point. But for the most part, the division has always been there for many, many, many years. And has always just been getting wider, not narrowing the gap. But just be aware of the evil fuckers who want to instill another one of these on us. They're trying. And you have to keep in mind, the medical, you know, the powers that be in that area of all the societies of humanity are a business. So how can you make more money? You have to think about that. What are ways that they can make more money? How they can generate more loosh, more suffering, more control, takeover of the systems that are currently in place, because they want to replace it with another system, a more tyrannical and totalitarian society, which we're getting there. I mean, slowly but surely. China's already pretty much there. And I had someone try to argue with me and say, China's free. What are you talking about? Yeah, okay. You're not free if you can't say anything bad about the government, or you have to constantly be swiping cards using retina scans or facial recognition scans. Retina scans are probably going to be coming. But I mean, so many people got duped. And if you don't look in the mirror and realize that it's all to make us suffer, control, clamp down. They don't want us to be happy. They don't want us to be free. They don't want us to laugh. If you can't look in the mirror and say, even if you were duped, you can have some sort of reconciliation with yourself. I don't need to do that. I never was tricked into that. I never played along with the bullshit. Never got the you know what, the yabba jabba do. No. And I have a feeling if they succeed in pushing another world pan scamdemic. A lot of people are going to fall right for it again. It's just, this is how humans are. Weak beings, mentally, physically, when it comes to health, and spiritually. And I'm not here to spread fear at all. At all. This is not about fear. Some people might take it that way. It's not. It's supposed to be some sort of an uplifting message. Of course, I'm giving shit to those who couldn't see what was going on, what was obvious to me and many other people who I knew, who could see the nonsense. And that's all. It's just a message to try to. I'm not trying to wake people up, because I think by now, if you haven't realized things that are going on in this realm and beyond that, like on a spiritual level, you're FUBAR. And I don't need to tell you what that acronym stands for. That's how it goes. So they're trying to scare some people. They're prepping people again. All I can say is, here we go again. As for when, I can't say. But they say it's one step from mutating to be just like you know what. Come on. Which by the way, which I forgot to mention, was proven not to be as deadly as they originally claimed. And you know what I'm talking about. I can't say the specifics. But that's fact. Maybe we should look at our diets. Maybe we should look at the way we live these days. Maybe that's causing a lot of health problems, rather than something in the air. Which, by the way, they continually spray us with all kinds of shit. I mean, to me, it's as clear as day, the stuff that is going on here. The other stuff that's takes more of a special person to, a really deep thinker, higher intelligence. I'm not saying even people who aren't highly intelligent couldn't get it, but it's a lot of truths that are just hard to really take on. But that'll be other videos, and I have a lot of topics. I've talked about it in other videos as well in the past. But we will see what happens. And when I mentioned that they're getting what they want, just look at the WHO. They pretty much are getting their treaty that they wanted. The pandemic treaty. Like I said, they get what they want. All the governments are pretty much controlled. It's just a matter of turning their head the direction that they want. And that's one step closer to a future that no one wants, even in this realm. Dystopian future for humanity. That's what's going to be. And it'll make the 1984 look like a picnic. So be ready for it. Be ready for the reaction of what the right actions to take if it happens. And that's the video for today. Kind of a double in one day. I did the jog the other day, but leave your comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video very soon. Bye for now.